Hello and welcome to the Clay and Woodrow Show. And I don't know if you ever heard of a tease before, but this is just a tease because the Clay and Woodrow Show is very much so in its early stages. As a matter of fact, we know enough right now to be utterly dangerous. So with me in studio is the producer over here to my right, which is George Lucas. Was actually not George Lucas, but it's Don Lucas. George's brother is helping me. He is our producer for the Clay and Woodrow Show. As a matter of fact, Woodrow, which is really the star of this podcast, is actually not even in studio today. He's at the doctor's office. So what is the Clay and Woodrow Show? Well, it's just typically a talking head talking about life, and certainly we'll have guests and stuff to come in, but probably focusing on things like this time of year, like what you would imagine, the Atlanta Braves and SEC football. And if you had a pie chart, probably 5% of our time will be picking on the ACC as a conference and the fact that they're just inept at football. So that if that was our pie chart, we'd spend a lot of time there. And then, as you can see from the graphics below, the Clay and Woodrow Show is proudly sponsored by Jake and Edge. And when I say proudly sponsored by Jake and Edge, I actually mean that I'm not sure that Jake and Edge knows at all that they're sponsoring this, and I think that's illegal, actually, to have a sponsor that does not know that they are a sponsor. But I am trusting that Steve and Shannon Fleming will never even see this show, so I think that we're safe on all accords there. But we come to you from the Omar T. Oliver studio today, and just glad that you're joining us for a tease of what's to come with the Clay and Woodrow Show. So just in the early stages of this, there's things that I've already noted. Is if you would please just join me as I tip my head. You will see that more than anything, my bald spot is just ginormous. So what my family has always just politely called a quarter-sized bald spot is really the size of a small saucer. And so that has become very apparent to me on this as well. And then one of the things that's closest to our heart at the Clay and Woodrow Sports is just kind of the whole, just life living in the South, college sports, primarily a lot of Georgia sports. But more than anything, we are protectors of freedom here. And by that, I don't mean politics per se, but what's most important to our hearts is this. We are protectors of freedom. And so I would have to ask that pickleball stay close to your hearts, but I can say in the studio, which is probably 10 by 10, our studio is, I would have to ask that pickleball not be allowed. Okay, so tennis perhaps, but no pickleball allowed in the Omar T. Oliver studio. But be a protector of freedom today and make sure that pickleball stays alive in each of your local parks around your communities. So just stay tuned. Now, who will be listening to the Clay and Woodrow Show? And I think we all know the answer to that. Perhaps a handful of people. So my mom, possibly for a couple of episodes, no differently than how she would take my VBS, Vacation Bible School type of arts and crafts, and tell me how beautiful it was, and then say, that's a beautiful giraffe. And I would say, well, Mom, that's not a giraffe. That's Jesus talking to his disciples. But she'd still put it up on the refrigerator because she was proud of me. And so my mom will listen for a couple of shows. Most of you think that my brother, the big city guy that he is in Atlanta, Georgia, will tune in. That probably will not occur either because he will take great pride in telling me that he has better things to do than to listen to the Clay and Woodrow Show. So just hoping that some of you join along for this ride as we just tease what is to come on something that I think is an exciting endeavor for the 5 or 6 of us that will listen to this, the Clay and Woodrow Show. So stay tuned. We'll be back with more information on what's going to occur and special guests that are coming in the future to come to the Clay and Woodrow Show. And once again, look forward to Woodrow being in the studio with me. But as for now, we're signing off, just mowing grass and making truck payments here at the Clay and Woodrow Show. Stay tuned.